Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Capital. Hey, look, there's the giant tire. We should make that a pure Michigan welcome center. All right. There's the glowing dot on top of the cherry on top of the Penobscot building. It was red there, but it's been blue in the past, so I'm not sure. It must be an LED light and they can change color. All right, DTE Energy has their headquarters in downtown. All right, off in the distance, Little Caesars Arena. Must have some LED lights up there because they change color also. On this particular evening, I wanted to go to Nancy Whiskey's to watch some live blues music. Unfortunately, after the holidays, bars and bands and everything, everybody kind of hibernates and hunkers down for a while and pays off their bills and so forth. So, band action in bars tails off in January, so I was unpleasantly surprised that there was no live blues music. Darn, I was bumming. All right, you can go either way here, apparently. Left or right. All right, and I think we were within a couple days of a full moon. And so I'm trying to zoom in to see how round it is, and it's getting a little funky. Or maybe it was a full moon night. I'm not, can't remember. All right, well, I'm in the Lower Cass Corridor, and the Ilitch organization is trying to rename this area District Detroit, which I am not partial to at all. This has been the Cass Corridor neighborhood for years and years, and somehow they're trying to modernize it or update it with this District Detroit, but oh well. That building there is abandoned. In fact, Ilitch owns a lot of the properties around here and was supposed to have this area already developed by this time, the Eddystone. Well, I'll give him credit. He's got this one after he got all the tax incentives and the like, but the Eddystone, I think, is operational now, and there's apartments/condos in there. Well, wait a second. I'm not sure if they're still working on it. Is the door open? There's a light on up top, but yeah, this is like Detroit's version of Hotel California. Yeah, there's a few lights on, so I'm wondering, I'd be curious as to what the rents are too. It's kind of in the hubbub of activity with certainly Little Caesars Arena. You have the Pistons and the Red Wings both playing their games, so there's activity quite a few nights throughout the year. Aretha Franklin, well, they pay homage to some Eminem, some Detroit musical greats, and there's Isaiah. All right. No, I missed out on the live music, so I said, well, I got the camcorder in hand. Look at this thing here. I guess they don't want you to turn down this street and park down here. They have quite the barricades set up. Woodward Avenue, Main Street, Detroit. Yeah, I decided I would take a walking tour just for shits and giggles, I guess. I don't know. I have a great camcorder. I get a lot of flack from a lot of people saying it's such an old camcorder. It's actually a 2001 model made by Sony Corporation. So it's still in this millennium. Here, drink beer, eat pizza, be saucy. Seems like everybody has these QR codes now that you can scan, so you can scan that with your phone if you're one of those techies and likes those QR codes. I played with it a little bit lately. Someone showed me how to do it on my phone. I thought you had to download an app, and apparently you can just get it on your phone, which is good. So, yeah, a lot of restaurants now have their menus that you scan, and you scan the QR code and their menu pops up. So, all right, Detroit Arsenal of Democracy. And whoa, back in the day, 1935-36, the Lions had won, the Tigers won the World Series, Wings the Stanley Cup, Joe Louis was the boxing champ. Yeah, we were the city of champions. But yeah, this is the Veterans Building. This building's been sold. Ilitch has bought up a lot of these properties, but I think part of the game is not to develop them, in which case the rest of the surrounding properties, maybe the property owners will sell for cheap. I have no idea, but this district, Detroit, should have been developed quite a bit sooner, and there should be more progress. The problem is that there's just one developer that owns all the property, all the land, which is Ilitch. And further down the way, Dan Gilbert gives Ilitch a run for the money on a lot of downtown properties in the downtown area. And but here, Landy Portfolio, he was a big player here in the Cass Corridor area. He bought a lot of property. Check this out, though. But he recently passed away. I think it's been a year since he's passed away. But back in the day when everybody was vacating Detroit, this guy was purchasing land and has he's got a big portfolio. And I'm sure he wants market rate right now for the land that he owns. Yeah, so I'm into the urban planning thing, so I like just to look around and see what's there. I call it like taking inventory. The first step before you do anything is to kind of walk around and see what's there, and in the context of everything else, it's like everything's a piece of the puzzle, so you got to see where it fits and so forth, and if I can use that analogy. But here's looking down Main Street, Detroit, Woodward Avenue, looking downtown, the David Broderick Tower on the left. And yeah, I think this was a Saturday night. Here, a coffee place. I like their neon sign. But yeah, I got a lot of flack with my camcorder, being an older model, but it can operate on 0.4 lux, which is virtually very little light. Cameras and camcorders, lux is a big thing. One candle light, I think, is a 1 lux, is how they do it. So they scientifically figure out. But yeah, here, with a little moonlight and a little street light action or whatever, the camcorder really picks up pretty good. And so that's why I've stuck with this camcorder, even though it looks old school. It just does a fabulous job in low light conditions. Super Pedestrian. I rode one of those things a while back when I was in Austin, Texas. I figured, hey, let me give this a go. You have to have a pretty decent sense of balance. I was trying to have my camcorder, and you can't do a couple things at once. You really have to concentrate on operating that thing, because any little bump or little crack in the sidewalk or whatnot could send you flying. And I think it's quite common, actually, for people to get in little scrapes and bruises by falling off one of those things, and I'm sure even more serious, like broken bones and the like. So, It's pretty much a thing for the younger generation, so I think I might leave that well enough alone. 24-hour we deliver. It's at Coney Island. Yeah, I just wanted to see what was happening. What's going up now? Woodward Avenue. You know, got to be strong up the middle. It's a baseball analogy they used to say back when the Tigers last won their World Series. You had Lance Parrish as the catcher. You had Jack Morris as the ace. You had Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell, and then Chet Lemon. That was back in 1984. So it's been a while for them. Of course, the Lions, it's been since 1957. Yeah, I took a look a while back as far as playoff teams when each of the four franchises last made it to the playoffs. And it's appalling. It's been 4 or 5 years at least for all the sports. I wrote it down somewhere. The last time that each team had made the playoffs, and we've had quite a drought in the Detroit area. I was hoping this year that the Red Wings might make it, but they're still out of the playoffs now, even though they allow, I think, 16 out of the 32 teams make the playoffs. They might not make it this year. The Lions came awfully close. There were 4 teams with a 9-8 record. 2 of them made the playoffs, and 2 of them didn't. Unfortunately for the Lions, one of the teams that was 9-8 had beat them. Here's Joel Landy, 1952 to 2020. 68 years old. That's not very old that he passed away, but yeah, he owns available a ton of property, including this. The Burton School was he changed it into a theater. I watched a movie there once a few years back. It was interesting. Here's Chinatown. It was 1 block long, but there's no Chinese restaurants there anymore. This whole talk about urban planning. This whole Cass Corridor area still has a lot of work to do. This was redone. This was in terrible shape, but this little castle here got repurposed or refurnished, and it's several units. That's where I parked, way down there. Yeah, look at some of these smaller houses, though. That's like a little gem or a little diamond in the rough. It's probably gutted on the inside. I think I'm on Park Street here now. Oh, this was kind of like a red light district years ago. I started filming back in 1996. I've been at this for a little while. Over the years, I've increased my viewership from like 1 to maybe 2. It's just a tough go, actually. Apparently, my way of showing things just doesn't catch on with people. But yeah, I've been at it for a while with the public access in Dearborn. So I might just be talking to myself. I've done that before. But yeah, but I'm fascinated with what's happening in Detroit. And I think it's got a lot of upside. DET.com is the website. Again, the LED lights. Yeah, I shouldn't lament the fact that nobody watches. I guess if I really worked on improving the show quality, maybe got an updated camcorder or something, maybe that's not it. Maybe there's other things that come into play. But, yeah. I had one guy that used to tell me, he says, the only people that watch public access are the producers of their show, which might be true. I actually monitor my show sometimes to see if it's actually on TV, and more often than I care to say, a lot of times the show doesn't air, so it's difficult. Here's the bus station here, and I love the architectural design there, and then lit up at night looks great. All right, MGM Grand. Well, I did my little tour of the Cass Corridor area, and I'm just gonna. I was often in looking for another place where I could watch some live music, so I was in search of that. Here, Brooks Lumber. Wow, I was talking about the Tigers earlier, but the corner's just to the left of me. There's the Motor City Casino. They built these condos here now. That was on the right field side. Yeah, I checked out that neighborhood a little bit, and then I think, well, had my fun for the evening. Boy, I love catching live music. And I'll be back to Nancy Whiskey. They say later in January, maybe February, they'll start up with the live music. But, okay, heading for home. Oh, that's a great tune, Smoke on the Water. I have to be careful, though. I upload my shows on the YouTube, and I don't have much more luck on YouTube. I get maybe 5 or 6 views for some of the shows I do. I think in this TikTok generation, you really have to, I'm too long-winded. I think you have to have 2 or 3 minute segments now. The attention span people have, it just doesn't hang that long. So, but anyways, you got to be careful with music because YouTube will get a little funky. The algorithms will say, oh, you're showing someone's music. Look at these 2 dogs up in front of me. There's a dog in each window. They were just enjoying this mild weather and capturing that. Okay, back to the DTE Energy, but across the way is the MGM Grand. And this was January 12th. This was Thursday afternoon. Actually, earlier in the day, this is a Salvation Army. What a classic building. Here, I love the logo there in front of the building. And at nighttime, they have some great neon lights that light this up. And it really looks sharp. But thankfully, this building was not destroyed. A lot of buildings in Detroit, scrappers got into the buildings and just terrorized and just gutted the building. That one, I think, was in decent shape. DTE owns it now. There's the castle. I'm going to take another walking tour. My mom, my parents came up from Florida last year, and so it's great to have them closer to home. But my mom's an art lover, and her one vice is she likes to play the slot machines. So I said, hey, let's go and check out the Van Gogh Museum, and then we'll go to the casino. So my mom's in the casino now, and I'm doing an urban planning tour. This is the Republic, though. That theater is closed. COVID, unfortunate. 1865 is the cornerstone here. This place is, 1899. Oh, yeah, this was in honor of the Civil War, but it was built in 1899. Parks and Recreation, another diner on the opposite side of this triangular-shaped castle. That's vacated, too, and the building is up for sale. Or was it leased? Now I forget. I'd have to rewind it. But, yeah, that building came back to life, and then COVID, unfortunately, really hit the restaurant and bar industry pretty hard. And I was sad to see that even post-COVID, they haven't tried to reopen or make a go of it. Look at here for parking now. You got to be a young whippersnapper with your phone. You can't just pay cash anymore, and there's no attendant. This is a place where they'd have the rave parties, the late-night dance parties, raves, techno music, all that. Next door is Dagwood's, and I thought they were closed. They were actually open till 2, but there was no patrons in there, so I thought, oh, no, not another place that closed. But they're a breakfast, lunch-type place. This is the lobby of the, this is inside the lobby of the Leland building. And boy, did it take a hit. It's really falling in disrepair. But I'll give them credit. Their clock works. Unlike another city I know in the suburbs that has issues with getting their clocks, but I don't mean to be picky on that. there's bigger fish to fry as far as, getting clocks to work is not that big of a deal. It's getting the buildings refurbished and repurposed such that they're viable and not just vacant hulks. But that Leland, there's a few people living in that building, but they're refurbishing the inside. I think it's going to be more luxurious. The rents are going to go up. There'll be some low-income housing, but they're doing a lot of work. The Book Tower and Book Building, this is for mature audiences only. There's some naked women on the side of the building. But they sandblasted both the book building and the lower and the book tower, which is adjacent to it. And they're doing a lot of work with that building. So that's going to be back in action shortly. Parking prices are reasonable. Here it's $10. This is the world's craziest parking thing, the Michigan building. They repurposed a theater into a multi-level parking deck. It's something to be seen. It also doubles as the birthplace of the Ford automobile back in the day. Ford had Henry had his automobile, and then I guess it was too big. He had to knock down the side of the doorway to get his vehicle outside. But this a lot of history here, and it changed the world, most definitely. Now, though, if you want to see that theater, I talked to the security guy inside. He let me take this picture of the elevator doors in the lobby here. He says if you want to take a tour or see the parking area where the theater was, it's $5. So they're marketing it that. It's best to check it out when there's a Lions game and there's tons of people in there. I've shown it in the past, but I'll have to show it again. It is pretty crazy. Eminem filmed his 8 Mile movie scenes. Some of them were shot there. Here, the United Artists Building. Look at this. Now, Ilitch owns this, so I'll give him credit on this one. Give credit where credit's due on some cases. Some cases, Ilitch has done well. Historically renovated, so they're working on this building. Here's some drawings of what it will look like when it's all said and done. It's right in front of the building is the People Mover. The Kales building, I think that's apartments. I get apartments, condos, anyways, people live in the building, whether they pay a monthly thing or it's a condo they bought. I think it's apartments. This one here, this has popped up in the last couple of years. Only a few of them, though, have the balconies. I would imagine you pay a premium for that. Why they don't all have little balconies, those are a nice little thing where you can sliding door and step out and get some fresh air, but yeah, only a few of them do. Yeah, they got pink doors here for the construction crews to work on the building. So there's things changing in Detroit. It was fascinating to see. I mean, back when I started in 1996, all these buildings were totally vacant, abandoned. This building's going to have some work on it. It was just a few years ago for Opening Day Tigers. I was taking video from the roof of that building, and it's like, yeah, when are they going to work on this building? It's right in the downtown area. Well, thankfully, they are working on it, and which is great. That's exciting to see. There's my evil twin there. I'm taking a look at this building on the corner. I think it was supposed to be a Shields Pizzeria, and for a while it was open, and now it's closed. Here's Cliff Bell's. I made a mistake a few weeks back where the Willis Show Bar in the Cass Quarter area, I called it Cliff Bell's, but it's two separate places. My mind, just the wires got crossed or something. But Cliff Bell's, here's a look at their menu. This is fabulous inside, and anyone that's been in this building knows what I'm talking about. It is absolutely gorgeous in there. They got a nice stage set up. It's intimate, comfortable, a nice bar area. Here's a look at some of the menu items, the main courses there. Crispy Brussels sprouts. And they got some fancy cocktails here. Jungle Haze. I might want to try that. Yeah, some interesting names. Someone was having fun with that. And then if you just want your draft beer, you have a few choices there too. Yeah, it's just really nice inside. But a lot of the places during the weekday, they only open at 4. Here's the entertainment schedule. So this was Thursday the 12th. Russ Macklem Quartet. What was it $20 at 7:30? But oh yeah, I wanted to. While my mom is gambling, I'm walking around and doing my 3-hour tour of Detroit. So I'm trying to catch as many sights and sounds and whatever, walking through the city. And then I'll go back to MGM Grand after my mom has had her fun. She broke even, mind you. She doesn't lose all her money gambling or anything. It's just every now and then she'll do that and have her fun. So she deserves to do that. Looks like some Puabic tile. That's the women's club. Hey, my mom is a strong woman. She was a nurse back in the day, and we were kids growing up, and she'd run and on the weekends do a little work. My dad worked at Ford Motor and all that. But my mom, yeah, very strong woman, very strong. And yeah, I think women are going to be the force in this new millennium, the 21st century. They're just beginning to spread their wings. It seems like the white males have held them down in years past. It boggles my mind that we just allowed women to vote in 1920, just over a century ago. It's just unfathomable to me that we've done that. So just watch what the future holds for women. Plus, women are going to take care of Mother Earth a lot better than the men do. Men seem to have a tendency to want to blow up things and go to war and fight. It's just war is not the answer kind of thing. Women seem to be more empathetic to the plight of kids and older folk, and like, no, bombing shit all the time. That's never been a good answer in the past and won't continue to be. Of course, Putin's being naughty. What an idiot for doing that. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Here's the Little Caesars World Headquarters, and I figured, hey, I'm going to step into the lobby. And I don't know if you can recognize that, but that's like Mostis Bestis pepperoni pizza that they're showing on the floor there. And then up top is Cholula, the famous glass blower. I wanted to go up on the second floor, but he wouldn't let me go up there. That's like off limits to the general public. Union Assembly here on the lower level. It's a 2-story kind of a thing, but that restaurant's been open for about a year. Here we go. We went to the Van Gogh, and it was a great art exhibit, too. Very fabulous. Well done. The DIA certainly is a Detroit gem. The little pizza slices in the window, I had a friend that pointed that out. That was by design to have the triangular shaped windows there. Mom's Spaghetti is part of the Union Assembly. Yeah, but they don't open till 4. So here's spaghetti, and the spaghetti with meatballs is $12. You can get vegan. Yeah, I guess you can order from the alley if you want. Next door is the Fillmore, their January schedule. They only have one. Yeah. The music industry really takes a hit in January, apparently. And then it picks up in February, though. Yeah. And then I guess they're affiliated with the Shelter, which is over there by the Greektown Casino area. A nice little place the younger crowd likes to go to, and they have some great acts over there. Geez, back in the day, I used to have my ear to the ground, and I could tell you the good bands and all that. But nowadays, I hear the names of these bands, and none of them make sense. I'm like Rolling Stones, The Who, that generation, Jay Giles. Here, look at these interesting characters up on top. It used to be a shoe store here on the corner. Now it's a convenience store. All right, look at the Ukraine flag there. So there's some solidarity with supporting the people of Ukraine. And I'm not crazy about war, but if somebody invades your country, you got to fight back. It would be like if Michigan got invaded by Canada. I mean, it would never happen, but let's say it did as a hypothetical. Here's a cool mayor, the idol of the people. Yeah, if we were invaded by Canada or something, yeah, I would fight back, even though I'm not fighting age or draft anymore. I would fight back. No way, Jose. And so Ukraine is fighting back. Look at this letterbox thing. This was from back in the day. A lot of these buildings had these chutes, but I don't know if anyone can top what we see here. The Guardian building, I think, has a really nice one. And then they got pineapples on the staircase. Yeah, and then the marble stairs. Oh, this building was getting nailed by scrappers. I have video from back in the day. Not that I confronted them, but I could hear them, and I could see all the scrap stuff they had in the stairwell and stuff. Thankfully, they secured this building before it was totally destroyed. Look at the atrium here. Yeah, they would drop furniture down and hit the glass panels. A bunch of those panels were broken. Crazy. I had a shop here on the second floor for about a year. I had a little retail shop. So I got a little history in this building. But this was a fabulous thing. I guess there were doctors and dentist office and the like in this building. You know, professionals that had space here, and it was just crazy. I mean, just gorgeous building. Just look at, this is where I had my shop here on the left-hand side. The second floor, it was right next to the People Mover station. And yeah, the People Mover station was right behind here. Apparently, they just knocked it all out and closed this off. And so now it's kind of, I don't know, little sit-down area. Now, here's looking down at the front desk on the first level. They had a conference or a little meeting here in one of the rooms. I was just going to go down to the lower level and just sit down and have a drink, and no, they didn't open till 4 either. So if you're thirsty, don't come down to Detroit before 4. Here, what's happening? Yeah, they're Grand Circus Park. What a great name for a park. And there should probably be more activities in this park on the lines of what happens with Campus Martius Park. It's kind of in the central location. It's in the Necklace District, sometimes they call it. This is the Himmelhoch building. And this is vacant. There were seniors and whatever that had apartments here. Apparently, they said, "Hey, everybody out," and they're refurbishing or doing some work. Across the way is Blue. That's a nightclub for the younger generation. If you like the dancing, they have what the DJs do their thing. If it's, I don't know if it's all techno now or if they have different variations. Again, the Ukraine flag. I'm going to head over there. That's the Metropolitan building. Here, chubby girls. I get a kick out of that because nowadays that probably wouldn't be politically correct. There would be somebody getting their panties in a bunch. Oh my gosh, you can't call them chubby, you know, pleasantly plump. Go with that or whatever. But yeah. Here's an interesting alley, and they have all these different businesses down the way. This has only been up for a couple years. I don't know exactly. Sometimes, and look at the time is accurate. I like that, Shinola. Yeah, post-COVID, it's kind of, time just went into a time warp or whatever. So, but it's been open a couple years at least. Here, the Element by Weston. This was the Metropolitan building. I explored this building, too, back in the day. And it was totally trash. And it's just like, okay, I got time today. Let's take a look. And I remember the railings and the staircase, and it's like, wow, they did a fabulous job in here. I was impressed. It's well done. The mezzanine was just, yeah, this was neat. There were a lot of small businesses, and this is a triangular shaped building too. Looks like 12 floors and a penthouse. So I took the elevator up. Sometimes the penthouse is just for exclusive, but this is where the bar was. And yeah, the bar doesn't open till 4 or whatever. Oh, I can imagine the views up there would have been great. Anyways, it wasn't open, so I'm going to take the stairwell back down. And I've never seen a stairwell decorated up like that before. But looking out the windows from the stairwell, you can see Ford Field, Comerica Park. God, I hope the Tigers, God, wouldn't that be something if they made the playoffs in 2023? They're starting to get a little better. They were good a couple years ago and looked like they had turned the corner, but then they took a downturn last year. I'm hoping they can reverse course again and at least get above 500. That would be a good feeling. All right, this is the 12th floor. I decided, look at the wide aisleways here for the rooms. Not crazy about the carpeting, but I wonder how many rooms. I should have asked at the front desk, but I had just like doing my quickie 3-hour tour. So I wanted to keep moving and see as much as I can. There's a nice mural on the side of that building there. And yeah, when you're higher up here, you can look down. I'm looking down here on Woodward Avenue. And well, some of these things are eye level now. Auto books. There's the book tower in the background. Here, I'll get a better... Oh, I want a better look at the water tower. I call those things bottle rockets because they kind of look like a bottle rocket. The David Stott building. Then these are kind of artistic and decorative in their own right, the fire escapes. Here were some before and after pictures. Give them credit for doing this to show how far it had fallen and what it looks like now. That was before, and look what they did with it. It's amazing. It's just skilled professionals and construction workers and doing their thing. And the entrances to the storefronts, that's what I remember. I remember these railings. Now, I don't know if they freshened these up or they're totally new, but I remember walking around the storefronts and I just thinking, wow, what would this have been like back in the day? And boy, they did a fabulous job. Here's an interesting place if you want to relax. I've never seen kind of like a little cul-de-sac kind of area, but I'm on the mezzanine level. Element. Now, they say Detroit could get more conventions and the like if we had more hotels and more rooms. And this would be considered a boutique hotel. It's not one of these cookie cutter Marriotts or Hiltons or the like, and you see them off the expressway. These are unique buildings. God, there used to be a sign up here. It said, "Watch for falling brick and or like nuclear waste." They had a dentist office, and so they had some waste with that. Anyway, I showed a guy with the ambassador. These guys walk around, I guess, and clean up the place a little bit. Hotel, or hot hotel here. This is one of these boutique places. Look at the door handles. Every time I come by, I have to take a picture of these door handles. For mature audiences only, to be sure, but this is a boutique hotel to like beat all. This was another building way back in the day that was destroyed. Candy Bar. I love the name. It's a kind of intimate little bar. They even have their very own disco ball. Look at the chandelier here. And they're not open yet either, but the guy let me take a picture. So note to self, if I'm going to do this and want to get in every place, come by after 4. But look at the furniture here, the little chairs, the desk. They even have a bed if you wanted to take a nap. This is right in front of the lobby, which was to the right there. They have a coffee place. And here they show what the ceiling was like. They didn't totally renovate everything. They kind of give people an idea that, yeah, this building was trashed. It was repurposed, redone, and look where we're at now. So that is nice to keep that that touch of it going on. But a beautiful lobby. You're not going to see a lobby like that in many places. Really, it's crazy. Next door, they have a barber shop. And then next door to that, they have, looks like a DJ could play their music. Downtown Detroit, so you can eat, play, drink, whatever. And I'm a stickler for time, so we'll check. Yeah, they're accurate. It's only Dearborn that has issues with having clocks that work. I'm just kidding. Buddies, they call this one the Rendezvous, and the original one was Conan and 6 Mile. But this one, it's been already a couple of years, and they have Let's Go Red Wings. And looking at the schedule, on the 12th, Toronto was in town. Yeah, that was an original 6. So it's a hockey night in Detroit for sure. The Maple Leafs are in town playing the Red Wings. All right, here, Detroit-style pizza. And I showed the one in Dearborn. The menu prices look like they're the same. I'd have to check that again. And there's your QR code. Scan me. But, yeah, so made in Detroit. Yeah, Detroit-style pizza is all the rage now. We're promoting it. But, yeah, as far as tourists coming into town, it's great that we can promote that along with our conies and other things. Okay, here's a directional thing which way to go. We have a great little downtown. I know in the wintertime it's not that walkable. There's a Maple Leaf fan, number 44. Yeah, but, I look, and I've traveled a little bit. I like the United States, seeing what other cities are doing, and Nashville's got a good music scene going on and a nice walkable downtown. But to be honest with you, I think Detroit can match that, and it's heading that direction. We got those little bicycle things, Well, I'll get back. Downtown synagogue, they're renovating this too. That's the only downtown synagogue in Detroit. And so I love the colored lights. Cafe de Mongos. Look there, now it's a blue light. And through the fog, you can just barely see it. Yeah, we have a lot of neat little bars and restaurants. We have all the sports teams. We got the art scene going on. And it's all in a nice little tight downtown area. There's no reason why we can't promote Detroit kind of like a party town. I don't know if people have been to Nashville lately, but Broadway, and you walk around that neighborhood, they have a great bar scene. You can go from one bar to the next, catching different genres of music, mainly country, but Kid Rock even has a place down there. But there's no reason why Detroit couldn't promote that more, and it's a good weekend city to visit. I got to head back that way to MGM Grand. Gaslight's been a big word in the news. Everything's gaslight this, gaslight that. I think, Lake Superior State or something, they always have the most overused words in the year and time to give it a rest kind of thing, and gaslight was one of those words. That's the IRS building. The Republicans don't want to have the IRS funded. They want to keep those tax audits away from the wealthy donors that they so well represent. But it's the middle class people that we should be more concerned with, as opposed to just the wealthy people. But that's really the difference between the two parties. My dad I remember asking years ago, asking my dad, what's the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats? And he pretty much accurately said it. He said the Republicans are for the rich people. The Democrats are for the, I don't know, the poor or the middle class. But, yeah, I don't know. And that seems to hold true. If you follow politics, that seems to be pretty accurate. Just the simple way to go. All right, Detroit's up 1-0. And then, yeah, you have to be careful, too, sometimes how you show sports, because a lot of the networks say that's off limits to show sports. Here we go, a goal, 3-1. Yikes! We got an empty net, and so yeah, we were checking the playoffs. Right now, we are in the hunt. But God, last night they played a game against the Vegas Knights and they beat them, so that was exciting. But yeah, yet another goal. So, and that's going to do it. So, Hockey Night in Detroit was successful, 4-1. Yeah, if they can have a hockey night in Canada, we can have a hockey night in Detroit. All right, we switch gears here now. I just like this tree. Actually, it looks like one tree, but it's two trees. I don't know what kind of, what do they say, species for tree? Like elm or maple or oak or whatever. That I have no idea, but it looked great in the sunlight. All right, so now I'm 46 minutes in. I got this is Eloise. Yeah. Some of this video, I've taken a bunch of video and then it kind of stores up and then I forget where I'm at. I even have some video on the Village Plaza that will be a show probably next week. We'll see how that goes. But Eloise, the, insane asylum, a lot of people would call it, but it was a mental institution or psychiatric hospital back in the day. But this has been repurposed. Apparently a guy named John, I met him and talked to him back when they had the Halloween the scare thing, kind of haunted house, which is kind of a great place for something like that. But it's a hugely popular event they hold in October. And so I'm just checking out the building here because it was recently announced in the paper that it's going to be repurposed. I talked to John earlier. He mentioned there was going to be like a speakeasy, like restaurant bar. And I thought that was a great idea, but now it's even more expanded. There's going to be hotel rooms and then also an escape room. One of those things where I guess they lock you up in a room and you got to figure out how to get out. That kind of spooks me out. I'm not into that. I don't like to be, it's not like I'm claustrophobic per se, but I don't like to be in a space where I don't know that I have an exit strategy that I can get out. But for some people, they take that on as a challenge, I guess, and they like it. But here I'm just taking a look of the grounds. This was on a Sunday morning, and just I happened to be in the area, and I said, let me take a peek and see what's going on. They got some heavy artillery out here, and God, we'll look at the board. There was a lot of buildings involved in this whole complex, but they tore a lot of them down. So originally, we'll see the historical site, but there might be a half dozen buildings that are still standing. The main building, of course, in front. Here, Eloise Asylum building. What was that, number 2? So these look like a couple, and now here's building 4. They have some buildings out back where they probably store supplies. There's a human services type operation here that helps families out, kind of a thing, like a charity thing or whatnot, or a non-profit. But this is kind of looking at the back way. They got a lot of vacant land back here. I think there's a cemetery here. They said like unmarked graves. Here, it's Samaritas Family Center. And then they got a workshop. So the entrance is off Henry Ruff Road. And here, there's a Wayne County Sheriff Department. I'm just north of Michigan Avenue. So here's the sheriff area. It was a satellite office, but post-COVID, now it's not open to the public. People that wanted like a concealed weapons permit or a marriage license, or for me, I would renew business names. You could do it in this building here, but this is all closed off now to the public. I think the sheriffs still use it as a office where they keep their patrol cars and the like. Eloise is in the city of Westland, and so here I'm on Michigan Avenue, US 12, and I'm just going to turn in here and take a look at the main entrance, which is closed. It says escape rooms booked now, and I can't see the website there, but I'll get it here in a little bit. I'll turn around and head back. I'll get the whole thing. But yeah, well, I went around back, and then this, I thought this was an abandoned building. This was right behind Eloise, and I'm going, what's up with this building? And then I saw some cars, and then it's the Walter P. Reuther Psychiatric Hospital. So, I mean, the state of Michigan, I don't know, it was in Engler's era, they stopped funding for a lot of these hospitals. This is apparently one that either survived or is still going on, but it's hard to get care for psychiatry or whatnot. It's not a priority with the state, but now we see with what's happened in and around that maybe there should be more attention given to mental health and the like. Everybody, depression is a prevalent thing. It's not well talked about, but it should be. EloiseAsylum.com. So if you want to book an escape room, I don't know if the escape room is already ready or not, but it looks, God, today was just a sunny day. It was just fabulous, and sometimes you have to get out when the sun decides to shine, but it seems like we've gone weeks on end with nary a chance to see the sun. It's tucked behind these thick blanket of clouds, but today was just, nice blue sky. Here, tours and escape room, use front entrance. Here's the Michigan. Now, I don't know if that's a wishing well or what. But here, if you can read from afar, Wayne County purchased it was Black Horse Tavern, a stagecoach stop. Interesting. Then if you can kind of speed read, and I'm doing the shaky cam a little bit. On the bottom, it peaked at 10,000 patients and 2,000 staff. A city in itself had its own farm, cannery, bakery, cemetery, employee housing, police. Hold that steady, and then they'd serve 30,000 meals daily. One of these days I'll get a closer look at it so you can read all that. Well, I'm holding it long enough that you can read it, but I wanted to get a closer look, so that I will. That's where I parked. All right. So this is one of those things where I love these historic. You got to check both sides, because the other side of this Michigan Historic had some more information. The most advanced medical and psychiatric treatments were used here, and they pioneered a lot of stuff. Oh, there it is. Most of the complex's 75 buildings were raised by the mid-1980s. So, yeah, it was quite something, but they kept a few of the buildings, and if they have hotel rooms, I'm sure they're just out of curiosity's sake, there would be some people that would book a room just to, there's my evil twin. He would book a room to check it out. Yeah, this is like a wishing well thing, I guess. I like I don't know if that's a siren or some kind of tower up top, but yeah. All right, now I'm in the city of Inkster. This place is he's one of the ringleaders here for gas, near John Daly and Michigan Avenue. And there's a few other places down Michigan Avenue that have gas, but this one you don't have that 10% ethanol. At least I don't think you do. So that kind of cheapens the gas a little bit when you put that ethanol in there. So you like just the pure 100% gas. You get better horsepower. Well, next door was a building that Dearborn Heights had owned, and it sits there vacant on Michigan Avenue. That building's built like a brick shit house, but it's been vacant for years. All right. Here, yeah, I filled up with gas. I'm looking for the 10% ethanol. I don't see it, so that's good. So right, Michigan Avenue, just west of John Daly. All right, 25-hour party store. Is that possible? Can you do that? It just doesn't seem right, but you can get your liquor there, among other party supplies, I'm sure. All right, now Dearborn Heights city limits. This is my humble abode, a suburban community, but they have it's been 10 or I don't know how many years now, but they got the 20th District Court along with the police station combined in this building here. Quite an impressive facility. And never forgotten. Unfortunately, this is a sign of the times, but yeah, police officers are disrespected and people just think it's okay, I guess, to kill them. It's horrible, but here may contain up to 10% ethanol. Yeah. So this is at the Marathon, but there's a lot of places. You got to keep your eyes peeled for that. This is the one next to the Home Depot, and then across the way on Gully and Michigan Avenue, they have fairly reasonable gas there. These three gas stations all pretty much stay within a few pennies of each other, but you got that 10% ethanol. Glass Academy, my sister and brother-in-law own this business, and they are quite successful. This is the city of Dearborn here. They're on Trowbridge, but they're doing quite well. Hand-blown glass. So if you like mugs and drinkware and all number of things made out of glass, they have quite the operation there. Great for gifts and so forth. Here, the rail lines that bisect Dearborn and whatnot and pretty much parallel Michigan Avenue through this area. Here, check this building. EWI. They were doing a lot of work here. I don't know if EWI stands for something or if it's just initials. There's my evil car there. The shadow. But yeah, they did an awful lot of work. So I decided, well, let me take a spin around the building. They're right next to the rail lines here. And they got all those rail ties. I don't know if they're going to change some of those out. Look at all of these. They almost look like toothpicks stacked up. There's so many of them there. So I don't know if they're going to rip up the ties and relay the rails on that, but those didn't look like they were new. All right, Detroit, Hamburg, Los Angeles, Milwaukee, Shanghai, Winston-Salem. This is a multinational corporation, so somebody has to explain to me, or I could Google it. But EWI seems like quite the operation. Behind there is some soccer fields, but you can't get over there from here. They got parking curbs. I guess if you have a pickup truck, you can do that. I don't know why they won't let traffic go through unless they're afraid that they're afraid of something, I guess. There's some picnic tables. I think Crowley Park is the official name. And then the Detroit, or the Dearborn Racquet Club there, it seems to be doing quite well. I'm just checking out the hood as I round out the top of the hour. This is where I would have gone to high school, where I live on Lehigh Street, this Dearborn Heights Robichaud. But there's a lot of kids from Inkster because they closed Inkster High. So this serves several communities, I would imagine, at this point. They're doing some capital improvements. Yeah, I'm getting near the top of the hour. Oh, I bought a Mega Millions ticket, and those I thought were the winning numbers, but nah, it was not to be. Metro Times. You know what's coming up is the erotic art exhibit, the Dirty Show. Folks, though, thanks for watching. Look at the logo there, and I have it. Oh, we're going to have time. There's the logo right there. I bought that piece of art. Good night, everybody.